Welcome everybody to Better Together Tuesdays. Guys, we are here. We are so excited for today's episode. Honestly, we have always had this passion of finding power couples and bringing them to you because our mission is simple, really. Our mission is to empower you to take control of your shared finances and to strengthen your relationship by aligning your goals through strategic communication. And we really feel like we have found a couple for you tonight that just embodies that mission. So we want to welcome the Hunters to the stage. I'm going to bring them on here. Let me add them in. Y'all.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Welcome to our first edition of Better Together Tuesdays. I'm so excited that you guys are here. We're going to have a good conversation today.
Yeah, no, I'm excited because we met the Hunters where?
In Cancun.
In Cancun. We are Cancun buddies, except I don't think I met a harder working couple than the Hunters. There was, so you know me, I like to do my little workout thing, right? And I was at the gym, I think it was like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was looking out of the window because it overlooks the beach. And here I see like some people down there with like these cameras and stuff. And like, I'm like, oh, wow, these people are really getting it early in the morning. And I look closer and I'm like, wait, I know them. And like, they're like rubbing their lens and stuff. Like they're working it out. And they are getting it in at 6:30 in the morning, taking photos.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was a workout for us too.
Yeah. I think been up since like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And just like, okay, should we text her now? And funny story. I thought I was texting Ailika.
You did?
And I texted you.
I was so confused and I was like, I am not awake yet. I'm not going down to the beach. Yeah. You thought you were talking to Ailika. I thought it was so funny.
All right, so we know who you guys are, but some of those who might be watching might not. So could you guys do me a favor and just briefly introduce yourselves, share a bit about your entrepreneurial backgrounds?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Bryce Hunter.
And I'm Alicia Nicole Hunter.
And we're BCP Detroit,
a photo and video content agency.
And with over 10 years of experience working on multi-million-dollar campaigns for small businesses like Friendship Circle of Michigan and larger corporations like General Motors, we've grown accustomed to know what makes your brand stand out from the crowd.
And actually, since the end of 2022, we have expanded our client reach beyond Detroit and Michigan to Southern and East Coast territories. And through that strategic approach, we've actually skyrocketed our business by over 90%. So.
Oh my gosh. And international, because I mean, you guys were in Cancun,
right.
So you guys can like
internationally known, we might add.
Yes, I'm here for that. That's an amazing glow up. I love that so much. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
They're out there in Detroit.
Oh my God. Right. Did you guys know that?
That it was Detroit, that is French.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't know that. We had a family reunion there, and that's what they told us. And for the rest of the trip, we were like, Detroit.
It sounds way better.
That's what Dr. Rhonda, when she found out, she was Detroit. Yes, we are the strength of water.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I did not recognize. I mean, I knew that you guys were like amazing at what you do, and like you guys are, but that is a lot. Oh my gosh,
they bring the capital P power couple, right?
Yes, I am here for it. So so we know that you guys both do content and branding, and Alicia, your superpower in the duo is the photography.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure I say that. Okay. All right. Cool. Did you guys start? This is like this is what happens, right?
That's
he has the notes.
I have the notes, but I just want to talk.
I go off.
I have to bring her back.
So with the photography, did you guys start off just like I'm doing photography, I'm doing videography, and then you slowly came together and like created BCP Detroit, or was it that you were just doing your own thing? Or you picked it up later? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So we met actually in college, and we were studying digital media production. Nice. And we met in what class was that? Art history.
Art history. Yep.
Yes, we met in art history, and then the rest was history.
Right.
So actually, we graduated, had a baby, and got married not in that order. We graduated, got married, had a baby in 2010. And then the economy tanked that year. Couldn't find a job. So we're like, you know what? We should have another baby. And that's
a great idea.
It's a great idea.
We doubled down.
Yeah, we doubled down. Let's have another baby.
Yeah.
And then we started our business actually in 2011. It was Big City Productions. And at that time, I was a stay-at-home mom. Bryce actually worked on Spy Kids 4, and he was a part of the production team that made the movie 3D. So that was
Nice. Yeah, he was telling me a little bit about that, and I was like, that is amazing.
Yes, that was an awesome experience to see your after it was all completed, to see your name on the big screen was awesome.
yes.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh.
But after that, it was hard for him to find work, doing what we love to do. So from there, he started Big City Productions. I think doing movies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not doing movies. Weddings, short films.
Yeah.
And then he also did some undercover work for insurance agencies. So, if you said that you couldn't work, if he found you up on a ladder on your roof.
What? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So let me just a little bit into that.
Yeah, please.
I was actually the editor. They were quote unquote grooming me to be an investigator, and I didn't see a future in that. I just stuck to the editing.
Facts.
Plus, it was a lot more fun to watch these people, claim workman's comp, and they're picking up big TVs and stuff like that, or things like that. So yeah, it was interesting.
I know what you're thinking of.
What am I thinking?
Or maybe you're not, because you gave me a look. I was thinking about that episode of The Office where they're trying to go catch Daryl because he says he fell off the ladder. And they're taking pictures and they're like yelling at his sister.
Right.
Yes, that was Bryce.
That was awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
She did look like Daryl.
She did.
She really did though. They did really good casting because I was like,
Right.
oh my God, I'm so glad you guys got that because sometimes my office humor.
Yep.
Yeah, not everybody gets that.
Love Office.
Good. Oh, well,
Will
this is
Ferrell
gonna be
movies.
yes.
Can I get off track? Because
Go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
you guys, no. I want to get off track. Like you guys met in college in this history class. Did Bryce have like a cheesy pickup line? Like how did he say like,
Ooh, that's a good question.
"Hey girl"?
So
Like, what did he? How did this? Tell me this origin story.
okay, so what's funny is, so we're 4.5 years apart. I'm
Okay.
4.5 years older. I know I don't look it, but
no, girl, you look great.
You're a cradle robber just like my wife.
I
That's
am
cool.
too.
That's cool.
high five.
High five. High five. We know what we
We want to get you early.
I
We were just talking about grooming.
was
right?
gonna say you talk about grooming. I need to make sure that you are the perfect fit.
Oh, that's funny.
So I was staying around with a couple of friends at the time and just like, oh, okay, he's cute. How old do you think he is? And he's always been very mature for his age. And I said, I don't know, maybe 24, something like that, 25. And he said he was 19. And I was like, oh, no. But then I think about 6 months later. Yeah. I think about 6 months later, we just developed a friendship and we were around each other just like every day. Oh, I was doing that graphic design project.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The plays.
Yes. I did a graphic design project and long story short, everything went wrong that could go wrong. And I designed a playbook. I designed this, I can't think of that, program book for this play.
Play-Doh?
And everything that went wrong could go wrong. But what stuck with me is that he stayed with me the whole time through the person not opening up the printing shop, him being late, overcharging me, folding it, stapling it. And the person that I was working on the project with, for whatever reason, wasn't able to make that same type of commitment. And he stayed with me the whole time. I was like, oh my God, I love this. This was so beautiful.
Oh
and so we got like really close through that. And we're hanging out every day. He's such a gentleman. He did not hit on me at all. It wasn't even like a, type of thing. And so my mom said, I think he likes you. And I'm like, no, we're just friends. And so when he came over later that night,
Mom knew.
I told her, I told him, I said, yeah, my mom says you like me. And he said, what did you say? And I was like, we're just friends. He said,
I'm not in the friend category.
You called a shot. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Yes, yeah. I had to let it be known at that point because if she did know, we were spending every single day together, night, everything. So
we go to school together,
everything.
Yeah,
like that was strategic, man. Bryce was playing chess. She was playing checkers. He was trying to play the long game.
Actually, he didn't know we were playing chess, sir. Okay, I was playing reverse chess to his forward chess. He didn't even know. I needed him to think I wasn't interested, so he could shoot his shot. So.
But on the flip side of the earlier, when we were in our history, and I first saw Alicia, she had longer hair. And I really liked that. So I was like, she looks nice, looks really pretty and all this stuff. And then literally the next day comes in, it's a whole different person. So I think she said hi or something to me. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know who you are. Who are
That's incredible. Oh my god!
So that was just, I just had to say that though. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Kim does the same. Like she always tries to shake it up because I really like her hair, and then she'll be like, "I'm done. Like I'm cutting it. Like it's too hot. It's too much work. Like I'm spending way too long in the shower, like moisture and doing all this stuff."
It's work, man. It is work.
It is.
It is so much work. It's hot, right? I just straightened it today because I was like, it's colder outside. I can handle it. The humidity won't get to it, but as soon as it gets hot, I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Yeah. So it goes through seasons.
Right. So look. And we didn't even know half this stuff, but as you're listening, you're hearing the power couple, right? Like you're hearing, when Bryce was going through that economic downturn, right? When someone told him no, he found his yes.
Yes.
Right. That's what power couples do. Like they find a way, even when the way is not presented to them. And you saw how he stuck around, right? In that early part of the relationship, he wasn't going anywhere when things were getting tough. Here's what I want to know, because I'm recently getting into this, so y'all can give me some wisdom here. So I just recently started working with my wife in, this regard of like being co-business, owners, partners. What do we see? I don't even know the title.
Like business partners.
How do you find that work-life balance? Like, how do you still cultivate the relationship while being like on your grind? Because sometimes like I get lost in the sauce and I'm like, just want to work. And she's been doing it for a while. So she's better at being like, you just recently did what with your phone?
Oh, geez. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I started doing this time limit on my phone because I noticed that I was doing a lot of like doom scrolling, especially for content. It was doom scrolling. So I put a timer on my phone where all of my apps turn off at like 9:30. And so it doesn't come on until 9:30 a.m. So like, it's been so nice. Not that I work until 9:30 p.m. because I can be perusing or doing whatever I want. But at 9:30 p.m., I'm like, I'm done. I am going to bed. I have to for self, because otherwise, as entrepreneurs, your brain can just keep going and thinking of different things that you could do. And I have to physically make myself shut it down, have to shut it down.
Which is what my brain is doing. I've never seen this woman fall asleep faster. Like normally she's up to like midnight, 1 a.m. on her phone. Like she'll be asleep by like 9:45, 10
it's
o'clock
the best. Now. I've had really great sleep.
I'm figuring this out. So what do you guys do to like find that balance between like work, relationship, work life?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
It's difficult.
Yeah. Because for us, if someone asks us like, what do we like to do? We always say edit.
Right.
We enjoy editing, and then we enjoy showing each other and looking at each other's edits.
Look what I did.
Look at this. See this? That was a good shot. So that's a money shot.
Right.
But we also enjoy spending time with the boys. We like watching movies. Playing games throughout the house. So every Friday we have family night, and so I
love that.
Have pizza. We have the same thing most times. It's pizza night. Everybody doesn't eat pizza. That's so funny, but we still call it pizza night.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Our youngest does not like pizza.
That's wild.
Right.
I'm staying away from it, but we just find things that we both enjoy, and we if there isn't a hard deadline, then we are more flexible with, okay, what time is it? 9:30, 10 o'clock. All right, let's go watch an episode of Loki. Or you guys have
Oh, we love Loki. I haven't seen
watched
the new
season
episode
1.
yet.
We have not seen season 2 yet.
We haven't seen the season yet, but because I know once we get started, we're going to go down the spot. We're going to be like, Amber,
yeah, we like to let it
episode.
build up first.
Next
like
episode.
with anything, Love is Blind, whatever. Like we just let it build up.
Yep.
And then we just go in and binge the whole thing.
Yep.
Okay, that's smart because you're going to have questions after the first.
Yeah, is the season done yet for Loki, or is it still like in progress?
It's still going.
going.
Yeah, it's still going.
Okay. So we got some time. The risk with that is that spoilers happen, right?
Oh, that's true.
Like I feel like they were about to say something.
We probably were.
Yeah. I'm glad you stopped that. Yeah. That was perfect timing.
Yes.
Perfect timing. Okay, good. We shouldn't tell them that we haven't finished Ted Lasso either. Don't tell us.
Yeah, we're on the last season. We
I finished it. That's great.
It's a good one. I know.
We're really
Good.
slow. Like with episodes, like we'll watch like one show a night, like during dinner or whatever.
Okay.
So we're really slow to finish things.
But I love, going back to what you were saying, I love that you have like what we were saying is like, okay, how do you find that work-life balance? And so finding that intentional day, right? So even if it's Friday and being intentional of saying this is our family time and this is what we're going to do together, I think that makes a huge difference, right? Because even for the family to know like this is the time that we're working together. I also know that like we say balance as if it has to be a schedule that has to be followed every single day. And it doesn't necessarily, I don't feel like has to look like that. Cause like, I mean, we were talking the other day, yesterday was Halloween and you were like, oh no, I'm, with my kids, I'm like, doing stuff at the school. So I feel like work-life balance doesn't always have to look like at this time we're doing this. Like I feel like when we get back to like communication, it's really just communicating. And is there something that you guys do to kind of like have this like self-evaluation, or is it just kind of like you feel it as you go?
Actually, I guess both.
Yeah. Feel it as you go.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I guess, backpedal a little bit with like today, Alicia had to come in and say, because, we have our home office, hey, get off the computer, let's have lunch.
Let's eat.
I got right up and I was like, you know what, you're right, let's go have alone time and not work at the time. And like even that is communication.
It's true though.
100%.
Yeah, it is. It's so true. I think that's like, especially, I love that you said we love to edit, right? When you're in your passion already, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like this is what I love to do. I'm literally doing the thing that makes my heart the happiest, right? So you have to recognize that even though I'm doing the thing that makes my heart the happiest, I do have to find a boundary because there are kids, there's the house, there's life, there's a whole world out there that I can go experience. And it's just great that you guys are kind of feeling it as you go. And sometimes that is how it is, and communicating how you're feeling. Because I know there's probably moments in time where you're like, I'm feeling it. We're doing too much. We need to take a second. Right. And that's also a part of communicating and recognizing that the other person is like, okay, I feel you. I hear you. Let's go eat lunch.
Right.
And then even just reading, it's a ton of things with communication, reading body language, listening to what's not being said, understanding what doesn't need to be said, and then just being able to just step in the space and be able to do it just because. So I appreciate Bryce because even when I don't know he's watching, he's always watching me and reading me. And so I had to make changes to my diet, for health reasons. And he always knows if I'm eating something that doesn't sit well with me, because I'm just like, and then here he comes. What did you eat, Alicia? Here's an avocado. Take a slip out my hands, and I'm like, okay,
right.
You're right. And so I love that he has my back no matter what, and it makes it easy for me to trust him in life, in our marriage, with our children, in our business, because we have our own way of communicating with each other that we both understand, and it works very, very well.
Wow. So you're telling me that communication in one area can also permeate different areas of your life too. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. That's
it takes some time though. So
yeah.
well, we've been together. I'm sorry.
It takes some firing. And
Mhm.
we fired each other a couple times.
Wow.
You know?
Yes.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
I feel like that's important, right? Like I feel like that's something that you have to do where you get close to that edge, that boundary, and you're like, nope, we're not doing that. I remember the first time he attempted to raise his voice at me.
This is our first episode, and we're already going there.
We're
Like,
going
all right,
there.
cool.
So you yelled at me.
Okay.
It was literally like the first like 6 months of our marriage. So like, and we had been together for a very long time. But anyway, so he said something in a raised tone to me. And I had this feeling of just like, yeah, no, we don't do that here. I don't know where you got that from, but that's not how you talk to me, because I will cry. Like I will just completely shut down, and I'm no longer useful to you in terms of having a conversation about whatever it is that you're upset about.
Yeah.
So I gave him one of those looks where he was just like, oh no. And I was like,
yeah, I learned quick.
I was like, no, we don't do that. Because if you want me to shut down, that's what you're going to do. If you want me to actually communicate with you, we can't talk like that.
Right.
And it wasn't like I yelled at him or anything like that, because I'm not a confrontational person, but it was just the look that I had. He immediately knew like, oh,
I done messed up.
Yeah.
I messed up. Let's not do that again. Like, okay, let me actually
But it was
talk to you.
clear communication.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was very clear.
Yes. So you got
crystal clear.
he was so you got close to that boundary, and you knew, no, let me get back.
Let me bring it back.
Let me bring it back.
And that's good that you're able to recognize that, because it takes time to build that. And without the experiences, you don't have that knowledge on how to react, how to be able to communicate that, how to be able to take in what she said and make adjustments on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, and next time you find yourself in a similar situation, you can go into your toolkit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that. That's a good way to say it. Yeah. And I think when going back to what you said about starting business together, and, you know, I don't know if I would have trusted or thought that we would be a good fit working together unless we had already established in other areas of our life that I can trust you with my feelings, with you know, like when I tell you, hey, this is not what I like, that you reciprocate that, understand that, and then show that respect back. If I didn't see that in other areas of our marriage, of our relationship, I don't know if I would be able to trust you saying, let's go into business together, you know, because it has to start from that area of like, okay, I can trust you in other areas of my life, so I can trust you here.
Right. And nothing about marriage is perfect, right? It's just like we talk about, because we have that background in education, like it's all about making messy mistakes, because you learn more from those mistakes than anything else. So yeah, there's going to be mistakes, but what are you doing to reflect on those mistakes and learn from them and grow from them and make yourselves better? I love that.
Yep. So good.
I love it too. I think you love it.
I love it.
Okay, I love it.
Love each other. Love it. Yeah.
I think it's so cool that you guys had that conversation and that revelation. I think that, so we had a friendship before the relationship, still maintained a friendship in our relationship, and then, you know, graduated, got married, had a baby, and out of a necessity, we knew that we wanted to start a business. We talked about it in school, but out of necessity, we started it. So we didn't have those type of conversations that you guys had. It was figuring out how to be parents, how to be married, how to make money, how to pay our bills, how to not elevate our voices.
Yes.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. And then when it got to a point where, what can I say? I started working outside the house. I started taking jobs as a photographer. We were working back and forth together, video, photo, and then... Yeah,
at one point it kind of switched where Alicia was the one working and I kind of stayed home with the boys most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of also where I sharpened my skills with the boys, being at home there, filming them, doing like little family home videos.
So one of the things that you guys mentioned is that, you know, you guys were figuring out like the budget and the bills and all that stuff. So like, when you're bringing your business together and you're working as a couple, like, were you always on the same page financially, or like, how did you guys align financially? Because for us, we really had no clue when we first got married. It wasn't until like 6 months in, when the student loans started showing up and Sally Mae was at the door, that your father-in-law, actually, my father-in-law, your dad, actually recommended, like, hey, you guys should go check this, Financial Peace University class. So we checked it out, and that's kind of how we got ourselves aligned financially and figured out how to do this whole like budget thing. Like, how did you guys figure this all out? Because you're still together and you're not arguing and you guys seem happy. So you must have this figured out.
So
we're still figuring it out.
Yeah. So what we did is when he was working, he was over the bills. This is like 13, 12 ish, something like that. And I strongly wanted to be included because stay-at-home mom and all the things that go through your head, like I want to contribute, all these things. So then I took over the finances, and it was a learning race car track,
100%.
Accurate.
But we would, some years it was good, some years it was bad, and then I got to the point where I knew that I didn't have a hold on things, and I knew that I needed help, but I didn't know how to articulate what I needed help with. And that was it was a difficult conversation, because he didn't know what I needed help with, and he didn't know how to provide me with help. And so that was a learning semester. How to communicate, back and forth with that. But then when we have joint accounts, and I think we've had joint accounts since maybe before we got married. And we know each other's passwords. We're very transparent about everything. But when we got to that difficult space, we sat down and talked about separating our finances. And for us, because of how our relationship is, it very much felt like a breakup was going to be happening.
Right.
And so I had to make some hard decisions, and
I got you, girl.
Yes,
I understand.
And then also being able to accept the accountability, but then on the other side, him being willing to give me the accountability as a partner and not as a, hey, So the first time, I wasn't supposed to spend money, but I spend money on family. So like my spending is not like I'm going out buying like purses and shoes and stuff like that. I love spending money. Like I'll buy him some clothes, buy the kids some clothes, buy some stuff for the house, So me and the boys were on the way home, and I stopped and I got us something to eat. I give the woman my card. Before she gave me my card back, he's calling me. And he's like, so you buying something to eat, Alicia? I'm like, oh my God.
Too much, man. Too much.
I have done the same thing. Listen, you are not alone. Like I get the notifications to my phone, so I'll send Kim a text. I'm like, oh, Amazon, huh?
Yeah, right.
I'm
like, excuse me, sir. Okay.
Right. But that was the time where I didn't know what help she needed. So that was me trying to provide help in my own way. Mm-hmm. Probably wasn't the best, but it was a part of the communication. And later on, we kind of talked about it and say, hey, we have this, money set aside for this money set aside for that, and not to worry too much about the small things like that. So.
Yeah, we're doing much. I don't spend as much, and he is not as tight-reined with the money. So it balances.
I love that you shared that. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that that's a very common, I know, not that I think, I know that this is commonplace with many couples, because you saying, I don't know how to articulate what help I needed, but I knew that I didn't have a handle on it.
It's a vulnerable conversation.
It is a vulnerable conversation, but it's also a very like frustrating conversation when, again, you don't know what you need help with.
Right.
And figuring out how to support your spouse through that and how to reciprocate that support is very touchy, because like you said, you calling and saying, what are you buying, could speak so differently to the person on the receiving end. And you're like, I'm trying to help you. And you're like, not like this, bro. Like,
Hello.
like, excuse me, like, and so like figuring out again, that going back to the table. And we always say, you can't tell anybody this phrase, okay? This is a phrase that we're going to trademark and coin, okay?
Okay.
But the phrase wealth happens here, right, is a phrase that we use when we talk about it doesn't happen when you make all of this money. It doesn't happen when you're like, oh yeah, we're going to make this investment. Like, this is where wealth happens, in the conversations and the moments where I'm being vulnerable with you and I'm telling you, listen, that's not how I like to be told that I'm doing something, that I'm getting closer to that line. Is there a way that we can talk before I go to the shopping? Or is there a way that I can do this so then I can understand? But we don't have that revelation until we have the communication. And that's really what it comes down to. That's where wealth begins, in those conversations. So I love that you are just embodying like an example of what that looks like and what it should look like on the other side. Which is kind of fun.
Yeah. And I just appreciate you being authentic, because that's what business is. Like, sometimes we see these power couples and we see these people, and you always post the good stuff on social media usually, but like, that's business. Like, we go through our own droughts, right?
Oh, yeah.
Last year, Q3, like, we were in a drought where there was very little income, and it does feel like you're just scraping by. But if you look at social media, it's like Kim and Dan, like, doing so great, they're business, 6-figure business owner, but like, Q3 sucked.
You can be a 6-figure business owner and have 2 out of the 4 quarters be complete trash and still be a 6-figure business. Like,
yes.
It does not mean that every single quarter, every single month, every single day is just, I'm bringing in the dough. Like, that's not for every single entrepreneur. So it's important for us to have these authentic conversations, which is why we decided to do Better Together Tuesdays.
Absolutely.
To talk about this, because it's important.
And it's good to hear that you guys were able to hear each other. And, Bryce, you were able to see Alicia's language, if you will, with money, and, her values and her priorities, and, really like her money language. And she was able to see yours, and you sounded like you loosened up some of your rigidity. Is that a word? Rigidness.
He's like, okay.
So you guys were able to compromise.
He
So
said,
I'm seeing it. I'm hearing it. The conflict resolution, the compromise, the open and honesty. Like, it's there.
It's there. So
I would definitely say also learning, like, having a conversation on what communication means individually and collectively, and then respecting how your partner, your spouse, how they communicate and how they receive the communication. Because one thing I know that we have grown at, and I'm proud of us at, is understanding how we process communication. And so I'm very much I don't feel like I'm aggressive, but I've been told that I'm direct. And so I'm like, okay. He's like, yes.
Yeah. That's such a good point, though, because the way that we even process what's happening is gonna look different for every person. And it's important for you to understand, like, when I say this to you, especially in a vulnerable topic, like, money is not something that's just like, oh yeah, let's just have a conversation about it. You're hitting emotional, you're hitting psychological, and then you're hitting my bank account. Like, that's a lot of pieces that you're talking about when you're talking about my spending habits or lack of spending habits or whatever the case may be. And understanding how you are going to receive that and process that. You're right. That's a huge thing that you have to learn about your spouse. It takes time.
And you have to be able to, because he takes his time with like processing, and I'm more like, let's go. And so when he's sitting there, like, I'm like, ooh, what is he thinking about?
I'm ready. I'm in the ring. Like,
I'm ready.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and he says something like so profound. And I'm like,
Okay.
do you mean that?
Right.
I see.
I love it.
If I can, I think that was
Please.
earlier this year.
Mhm.
What'd you say?
He said, please.
Oh, I thought
I
you
said,
said
please. Yeah, go for it.
See, I'm like, what is it?
He was about to throw.
I'm like,
Oh,
calm
man.
down.
The aggressiveness, the directness was coming out. Hold on. Bryce saved me. Bryce was like, breathe.
Who let you
Box
in
breathing.
here?
Remember what we worked at in the back.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yes. So I don't know who let him in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see him?
No, I can't
Dogs
see
out.
him, but who let the dogs out? And, you know, our kids are coming out. Like, it's all good. You know,
So he said to me, and I think this was inspired by my brother. One of my brothers, I have 3. But long story short, he came to me and he said, now, Alicia, as the man of the house, and I was like, yeah, immediately, I'm talking with my head and my hands, you know, so immediately I'm like, I need a different angle to this conversation
Okay.
so I can see clearly through this lens. So he said, as a man of the house, it's something, but that also means that I have the responsibility to listen to what you have to say and take that into consideration, make sure that you feel safe in my response and whatever else he said. And I was just like, oh my God, that was so beautiful.
Yeah, that was straight off the top of the head.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like,
very nice.
you want some grits and bacon or something?
Yeah. I will make you whatever you want.
Oh.
That's how you do it, right?
Yes. I'm like, I edit your videos.
Right.
Oh, I find it interesting how there are a lot of men, right? And I'm generalizing here, who feel threatened by the idea of their wife wanting to understand and sit like at the table and understand more about the finances. Not so much that you spend this way, you spend this way, you spend this way, but like, what do you think about this, right? That right there is like an area of tension and an area of you're getting too much into my sauce. And I'm like, no, that should be a beautiful thing, because the more that you understand the likeness and what the other person desires, and you're bringing that together, you're creating a more united and an aligned front. That's a positive thing. That's a good thing. We should be going for that. So the fact that you said that as the man of the household, I want to make sure I'm providing a space where you feel comfortable to share what you need and share what you think about this. That's what's going to make this work. Is we need that reciprocation from our partner. And when we don't get that, and we only get the opposite of like, you shouldn't or whatever, and it doesn't matter because the roles could reverse. It could be him telling me that or vice versa. When you get that understanding that, no, I care about your opinion, then the conversations where we're like, hey, this probably could have been handled better, they hit different. Because I know you care about me, you know?
Yeah.
So I love this so much. This makes me so happy. Thank you guys so much for sharing
Bryce,
that.
Alicia, that couple that takes pictures and edits and stuff is awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming out to our first interview of Better Together Tuesdays. I mean, I really do feel like we found someone that embodies the power couple.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys should definitely be proud of that.
Yeah.
You are them.
Appreciate
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that. Yes. Thank you so much for telling us more about how you guys met, about how you guys built your business together, what it looks like to like have this communication, and how communication, I think this is the aha moment, communication embodies every part of your relationship. And especially in the finances, it might take some additional finessing because there's a lot of layers to that. But you can, when you learn how to trust your partner in other areas, you can trust them in other areas too. So love that so much. Can you guys go ahead and tell us more about where we can find you? If you have anything coming up, this is your time. Shout it out to the rooftops. Go for it.
Right, yes, you can definitely find us at our website at www.bcpdetroit.com. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram same names, BCP Detroit, and LinkedIn, BCP Detroit. Try to stay a little consistent there.
I love it. I love it.
Um, we do have some things coming up, but we're not quite ready to announce it yet.
We love that.
So we got some things cooking.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I love to hear it. So make sure that you guys follow them to get some updates on what's happening over in BCP Detroit. It has been amazing getting to know you guys and to connect with you more. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sign off with our very favorite, saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryce and Alicia, please go continue to live in love and walk in wealth. Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.